Go ahead.
Let me see a show of hands of how many of you have ever wanted to take a long road trip. How many of you have gone on a vacation and gone back hard? If you ever do, be sure to always know the quickest and best available routes to go. In late March and early April of 2005, my husband's brother was in the hospital on life support and we needed to go to Las Vegas to see his brother, but to also help his mother clean out his brother's apartment. Because it came about so quickly, it was cheaper to rent a car and drive across country than for both of us to fly to Las Vegas. We encountered a lot of interesting trials on our trip, such as being stuck in Utah in a blizzard, making it to Las Vegas to help Steve's mom, and then on the way home, although we found a better route home, we got caught in a tornado in Oklahoma City. So sit back and relax while I tell you more about our adventures. I will never again listen or follow Google Maps. My husband Steve and I had Googled the best way to get from our home in Shelbyville, Kentucky to Las Vegas, and it took us north. We figured this would be the best way to go. We left and went through Indiana, and then to my surprise, in 6 hours I was looking at the St. Louis Arch. It was amazing. So of course we had to stop and get some pictures. We drove all the way and decided that we would stop in Kansas for the night and then continue on the next morning. The following morning we stopped for gas, and much to my surprise I saw a sign for the world's largest prairie dog. I had to see it. I mean, come on. How many times in your lifetime can you say you got to see the world's largest prairie dog? This particular town also had the Museum for the Wizard of Oz. I was not as excited to see the Museum for the Wizard of Oz as I was to see that prairie dog. After our stop, we finally continued on and finally hit Colorado and the Rocky Mountains. We kept hearing warnings on the radio that there were blizzard warnings for that night, but we thought we could make it out of the area by the time the storm hit that evening and we would be safe. Boy, were we wrong. By the time dusk hit, we had hit the Utah border and the temperature was starting to drop very quickly. It was also starting to snow. About that time, we saw a sign that said no exit for the next 150 miles. And I also got a bad case of altitude sickness. We were going up and down, and there was nowhere else for us to go. By this time, it was starting to snow really hard, and it was starting to stick, and we were trying to stay in the tracks that the semi-trucks were making. It also didn't help that the trucks were going a lot faster than we were. It also didn't help that all I could do was chug from a bottle of Pepto-Bismol. We finally reached an exit after a few hours, then pulled in to stop for the night. The next morning, we still had to drive another 150 miles in the ice and snow to get out of the mountains, but at least we could see where we were going and what was going on. After dealing with the snow the day and the night before, it was nice to get to sunny and warm Las Vegas. I had never met Steve's mom in person. I'd only talked to her on the phone, so that was the first order of business. After meeting Steve's mom, Steve and I went and checked into a hotel and just relaxed. The plan was to stay at Steve's brother's apartment, but it was in no shape to stay in, so we decided it was better to get a hotel for our stay. We were only going to be able to stay for 2 nights anyway, so we had to do as much as possible to help Steve's mom clear out Steve's brother's apartment as best we could. The next morning, we went to the hospital and visited Steve's brother, who was in the ICU in the hospital, and then went back to get to work on the apartment. It took a lot of hard work, but we managed to get it all cleaned out for Steve's mom. We spent the rest of the time just visiting and finding a better route home. For the trip home, we decided it was better to trust the Atlas to get home. We took a southern route to get home, and it took us through New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas. I was amazed when I found there was dried lava on the side of the road. I only thought there was lava in Hawaii. I did not realize that there was lava in states other than that. Another interesting thing we saw were the car graveyards. This was where the cars are turned upside down with the trunks standing up in the air. That was really cool. I also loved seeing all of the windmills that were scattered about. But my favorite sight I saw on the way home was in Texas, and it was the world's largest cross. It was at a church in Texas, and it was a really awesome sight to see. We finally made it to Oklahoma City, and the weather was really getting bad, so we decided to stop for the night. It was a really good thing we did, because there were all kinds of tornado warnings issued, and then a tornado touched down about 25 to 30 miles from where we were staying. We left the next morning, and we could see all of the damage that had been done from the night before. The roads going home were so much easier going home than they were going to Las Vegas, and it was also quicker going home than it was getting there. I would tell anyone who is planning to take a road trip to make sure that they thoroughly plan and research their trip and always plan for any complications that may arise while they are on that trip. But the most important thing is to always have fun. Thank you very much.
That was good, but you need to do it again.
Oh gosh, no. Did I make it?
Yeah, you made it. Well, it was 5:38, but you did good. You did good.